Salut les gens, on se retrouve sur une vidéo découverte ici de Forgotten City, donc un jeu avec un scénario très riche, comme ils le disent sur la droite ici, qui présente de nombreux retournements de situation. Veuillez prévenir votre audience de la présence de spoilers avant de partager du contenu situé après le couloir blanc, afin que les joueurs puissent découvrir l'intrigue par eux-mêmes s'ils le souhaitent. Donc si vous ne voulez pas vous spoiler, eh bien, cette vidéo n'est pas pour vous. Néanmoins, on va commencer, on va voir le début du jeu déjà. Et puis j'ai fait quelques petits paramétrages, notamment je verrai bien au niveau du son, parce que le son était très fort quand j'ai lancé le jeu, donc je l'ai baissé, vous voyez, à 32%. Et puis j'ajusterai lors des vidéos suivantes, si jamais c'est trop fort ou pas assez fort, je ferai ça la prochaine fois. Au niveau de l'interface, c'est tout en français. Les sous-titres, j'ai laissé oui au cas où. Et puis voilà. Et puis bah écoutez, je vais découvrir, je ne connais pas du tout. Donc on va lancer la partie. Ah, il y a plusieurs fins possibles apparemment. La force ne vous servira à rien. Pour réussir, il vous faudra dominer l'art de la conversation et avoir recours à l'exploration. Le destin de la ville est entre vos mains. Eh ben, je sais pas à quoi m'attendre. On va voir déjà. Ok.
Hey, you're alive. When I dragged you out of the river, I thought you were never gonna wake up. I checked your pockets for ID, a phone, maybe. I hope you don't mind. But all I found was some loose change. So, wanna tell me who you are?
Bien sûr. Sélectionnez votre corpulence. Ah d'accord, par des tailles de monnaie. Très étrange. Ok, on va rester comme ça. Votre carnation, donc la couleur de peau. Ah merde, en retour. Soit je vais me mettre en black comme ça. Retour. On va rester comme ça. Et je vais mettre mon ongle en fudge.
Well, it's nice to meet you. And I'm sorry to pry, but any idea why you were floating down the river? What's the last thing you remember?
Alors, soit je suis plutôt de type archéologue, des années à étudier l'histoire vous donnent occasionnellement des perspectives sur le monde antique, donc je cherchais des ruines antiques. Soit j'étais en mission secrète, vous avez une arme à feu militaire, mais seulement 10 balles, vous allez devoir l'utiliser à bon escient car vous ne pourrez pas en obtenir d'autres. Ou je fuis la justice, de rapide, j'ai 25% plus vite lorsque je cours. Seuil de tolérance à la douleur vous rendant 50% difficile à vaincre. On va prendre plutôt l'archéologue.
Oh, you're an archaeologist? Then you'll definitely want to hear this. I don't know if it's exactly what you're looking for, but there are some ruins just behind you. Roman, I think. I need you to go in there and see if you can find a guy named Al for me. He went in there a few hours ago, and he hasn't come out. I've been freaking out, wondering if he's trapped or injured, or worse. I would have gone in after him, but he made me promise to stay here, no matter what. There's no way I'm leaving without him. So I'm just kind of stuck here, waiting. What I mean is, I was hoping you wouldn't mind going in there to find him. If you can do that, I can get both of you back to civilization in my boat. Please?
Alors, on va lui poser des questions.
Oh, of course. Sorry, I don't mean to be pushy. What do you want to know? He's the guy who washed up on the riverbank not long before you did. I thought maybe you two knew each other. I guess not. But maybe the two of you can piece together what you're doing here. In any case, you'll like him, I'm sure. Once you find him, that is. Oh, there's not much to tell. Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job with an endless commute. Know what I mean? Oh, I'd rather not say if it's all the same to you. All right, fine. Sorry if I sounded cagey, it's just that I don't always get the best reactions when I introduce myself. My name's Karen. You're welcome. Always happy to help. Was there anything else you wanted to ask? You really don't remember? We're in Italy. This river is the Tiber. Not much, really. But imagine what you might find in there. Priceless ancient artifacts. What am I, an idiot? You could hike a long, long way in any direction and never find another soul. Trust me. Great. So you're ready to go look for Al? My hero. The entrance is just past those columns behind you. Oh, and he left this here. But I think you'll need it more than I will.
Une lampe torche, ok. Si je fais ça, d'accord. Je glisse et ça peut prendre du temps. Quid pro quo, entrer dans les ruines. Alors, ça donne... Je regarde en même temps, le décor, il est plutôt pas mal. Ok.
The ruins are just beyond those columns. Please, hurry.
Bon, un petit effet de flou quand on marche, mais... D'accord. Ok. J'en ai pas besoin pour l'instant. J'aime bien le graphique. Le graphique est plutôt pas mal. Ok. Il y a un mot sur la porte et un sac par terre.
If you're reading this, it means I've discovered the entrance to an ancient Roman city hidden deep underground. Its existence is long forgotten, all knowledge of it lost, except in the Latin inscription here. It reads, "You who wish to enter the city, step forth and be judged. The virtuous shall be rewarded with eternal life in paradise. The wicked shall find themselves showered in gold, but in vain, for this shall be their final resting place."
Ok.
Could an underground city have remained a secret for all this time? Could people have survived down there, against the odds? It seems there's only one way to find out. If I'm not back in an hour, I'm somewhere on the other side. Consider this an invitation. Or a warning. Al Worth.
Ok. Sac à dos rempli de vêtements de randonnée utilisés de sachets de nourriture vive. Ne contient rien de valeur, mais est tout de même étrange qu'elle les fait abandonner. Ok. Et je peux pas le prendre. D'accord. Oh! J'ai pas... Waouh, j'ai pas eu le temps. Je suis tombé. Merde. Ok. D'accord. Toujours se souvenir quand elle nous observe. Alors le fait d'être peut-être archéologue fait que j'arrive à traduire. J'aurais fait une autre option, j'aurais peut-être pas pu te revenir. Qu'est-ce que c'est que ça? Y a quelqu'un? statue dorée. Jeune romaine prenant une pose plaintive. Ok. Un gladiateur romain marchant en grands pas. Qu'est-ce qui a pu faire fuir un gladiateur? Très bizarre quand même, hein. Qu'est-ce que c'est que cette ambiance bizarre? Les jeunes femmes romaines, elles semblent supplier pour sa vie. Vous savez que les habitants ont été transformés en statues d'or ou de statues de je sais pas quoi. Sauvegarder rapidement CF5. D'accord, ok. Bon à savoir. Un commandant militaire romain qui essaie de fuir précipitamment quelque chose. Il a dû se passer quelque chose ici. Un légionnaire romain terrifié. Dans leur pose, on dirait que ça fait penser à Pompéi. Il n'y a pas de volcan ici. Une femme romaine qui semble prier pour recevoir une aide qui n'arrivera jamais. Oh. Bon, je l'ai eu à moins de 10 € le jeu en fait, il était en promo. Ah, j'ai une tablette de pierre gravée.
To whoever reads this, I'm sorry you had to find me like this. And worse. But you'll suffer the same fate I did. I've spent a lifetime in this place, going around and around in circles, searching for a way out. The inscription was right. There is no way back. And here there are only two options. Death, or that godforsaken doorway into the past. I made the mistake of stepping through it. I wanted to set things right. And I tried. I really tried. Whatever I did, it took me right back to the beginning. Don't make the same mistake. Better to end it all now, and find out what awaits you beyond that portal.
Ah, le mec il s'est suicidé quoi. Il s'est suicidé, il s'est transformé en statue dorée. Il a voulu s'échapper pour revenir dans le présent, mais à chaque fois il revenait ici. Et il s'est retrouvé coincé en fait. D'accord. Et voilà la porte vers le passé. Donc à partir de ce moment-là, il y aura peut-être il y aura sûrement du spoil. Puisqu'ils introduction que à partir du moment où la personne trouve le portail, va dans le tunnel blanc, il y a du spoil. Ok. Franchir le portail va passer, c'est fait. Il faut trouver, objectif principal, trouver un moyen de revenir à notre époque. Ok. D'accord. Ok. Et le fameux jeune homme qu'on a vu implorant l'aide aux dieux, là, il est là dans le passé, je pense.
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who you are and what you were doing in the Shrine of Proserpina? What? I'm speaking Latin. You are too, although your accent's a little strange. Oh, I see what you did there. Changing the subject like that. Nice try. But I'll ask again. Who are you, and what were you doing in the shrine? Oh, is that right? Well, just make sure you don't get lost in any other sacred places you're not supposed to be. Can't have you disrespecting the gods by accident, can we now? But listen, most folks seem a bit confused when they get here, but you seem very lost, and in more ways than one. So let me make this nice and simple for you. Live by our law here, and we'll all get along just fine. Not laws, law. There's just one, the golden rule, and the punishment for breaking it's, well, it's kind of horrific. But our magistrate insists we take all newcomers to see him, so I guess I'll let him fill you in. So then, you coming? Follow me. When I first arrived, I couldn't believe there were people living down here. But, as you can see, we've got a nice little community now. Only 23 of us at the moment, if you count the 3 who are missing. No idea how, since nobody knows a way out. But it's just big and dark enough to get lost in, if you're not careful.
Aren't you going to introduce me to your handsome new friend, Galerius?
Keep it in your loincloth, Aurelia. I'm taking him to see the magistrate.
That pompous old bore won't be magistrate for much longer. Anyone who helps vote him out today drinks at my bar for free tonight.
Politics. I'd stay clear of it and her, if I were you. She's... it's not my place to say. Down on your right is our farm, where I grow all the food you'll ever want. As long as all you want is leek, cabbage, and wheat. Huh. That one usually gets a chuckle.
The bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone.
Ah, don't mind Livia. She means well. She's just been in a bad place since... Well, you know, I don't know what happened to her. Up here on your right is the chasm. If you've got a weapon, it belongs way down at the bottom. Up on your left is the forum, where you can visit the market or get yourself patched up in Lucretia's clinic in the Shrine of Apollo. Most of us have almost nothing, just what we had on us when we arrived, and what we've been able to make and scrounge up since. And this central plateau is where the magistrate and the other patricians live, so don't expect a warm welcome.
Galerius, you're meant to be working the farm, not trudging dirt into the villas.
Take it easy, Horatius. I was just taking our new friend here to see the magistrate.
Well, he's asked me to escort the newcomer personally. The farm. Go. Now.
You'd better go with him. But just remember, they're not like you and me. Don't let them use you.
What was that? What did you just say?
I said it'll take some getting used to.
Yeah, I'm watching you, farm boy. Greetings, citizen. My name's Horatius. Magistrate Sentius asked me to escort you to him personally. Follow me, please. Follow me. The only thing you really need to understand right now is the golden rule. Let me see if I can explain it this way. When I was serving in the Legion, if there was a mutiny brewing in one cohort, the legate in charge wouldn't waste time finding the bad apples among hundreds. They just divided us into groups of 10, made us draw straws, and whoever drew the short straw had to be executed by the other 9. Didn't matter whether he'd done anything wrong. One of us in 10 would die for the crimes of the collective. We call it decimation. If that seems like rough justice to you, you're in for a rude shock. Because the Golden Rule is exactly 10 times worse. The magistrate can explain the rest. Who's up these stairs?
Ok.
Ave.
Ok.
We're finally alone. I assume you already know who I am. May I know your name? A curious name, to match a curious accent. But I digress. I see you have the piercing and astute eyes of a man of great learning. We're always happy to welcome another scholar to our little community. Equitia will be delighted to meet you, I'm sure. Now, you're probably wondering why I summoned you, and I'll get to that. But first, take a look at this wondrous place, would you? A secret city built deep in the mountains, many hundreds of years ago. Indeed. More importantly, consider the miraculous community we've built here over the last 7 months. 22 complete strangers brought together by the fates, living and working together in our own little paradise. And in all that time, not a single sin has been committed. No fights, no theft, nothing. Have you ever witnessed something so extraordinary as a city without sin? Nor could I until I came here. But the reason for this miracle is as simple as it is terrifying. If even one person commits a sin here, every last one of us will die. You see, the builders of this place, whoever they were, left inscriptions warning, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." From what we can gather, breaking the law here will anger the gods and provoke a terrible punishment. Like the curses of Medusa and Midas combined, turning us all to gold. We've come to call it the Golden Rule. It's extraordinary that we've survived as long as we have, and each day I grow more and more afraid that our time in the sun is almost up. And now it seems that day is finally here. All that matters is that somebody in this city is about to break the Golden Rule. Why else would Proserpina send you now? Unless you and I can stop them, our doom is assured. I know that's a lot to take in, and you look like you have questions. Please, ask away. An intelligent question. There was a good deal of debate about that in our first weeks here. Does it refer to crimes or to some other ill-defined wrong? Of course, everyone agrees on the basics. No theft, no assault, and certainly no murder. But beyond that, it was more difficult to reach a consensus. What about lying, insulting someone, blasphemy, trespass, trying to escape, bribery, infidelity, suicide? As magistrate, I had to exercise leadership, and so I made a decision. We must uphold the laws of the Empire to a standard never before seen. And we must honor the peace of the gods, the sacred accord between the gods and the people of Rome. It is only by offering the gods the proper respect that we may prosper as Rome has for centuries. Barbaric? Barbaric? What are you talking about? The Empire is the most civilizing force in the known world. Rome is a beacon of light in the darkness. For 800 years she has borne great statesmen, philosophers, poets, artists, and engineers. We have comprehensive laws protecting the rights of our citizens, which have unified countless warring tribes all across the Mediterranean and beyond, from Gallia to Judea. All our citizens are treated the same, regardless of the color of their skin or their sexual preference. Can you say the same? When our people are starving, they are given food rations, and when they are wronged, they have the right to bring the guilty party before the magistrate. Our laws forbid treason, murder, assault, and rape, as well as theft and arson, and so on. No other civilization in the world is so advanced, and you have the hubris to call us barbaric? Of course. What else would we do with those prisoners of war who would otherwise have been executed? And besides, there are laws for their protection as well. On occasion, but our gladiators are almost all volunteers seeking glory, or condemned prisoners who would have been executed anyway. I do not see the harm. Of course, but with fewer rights come fewer responsibilities, and the right to be protected by their fathers and husbands. You mean the blasphemous cult responsible for burning down half of Rome last year? It's hard to blame the people for being angry about that. Are you talking about our practice of decimation? Of course. We could hardly unite all these warring tribes without a disciplined, formidable legion. Well, right now, you're a long, long way from home. I have made my pronouncement on the subject. Unfortunately, there are still those here who resist, whispering blasphemous and treasonous lies in the shadows. I would be keeping a close eye on them if I were you. Do you ever stare at a problem for so long that you can't see it for what it is anymore? What's needed here is a fresh pair of eyes. The less I prejudice the independence of your investigation, the better. What reason could you possibly have to suspect me, of all people? I'm glad you think so. Without trust, without each other, we won't be able to prevent what is about to happen. Well, all right. There are those who wish to vote me out of office so that they can pursue their own misguided political agenda. Frankly, their selfishness and recklessness risk destabilizing the entire city. I would be looking very carefully at them if I were you. If I understand Proserpina's ritual correctly, that problem should take care of itself. Let me see if I can explain. If you manage to prevent the sin that breaks the golden rule, I won't need to bring you here. I won't create the portal, and you will never have been able to come here. Thus, you'll have created a paradox. If this occurs, you should be flung back to your own time, having changed the past for all of us. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You see, in my search for a way to save my people, I learned of an ancient ritual to Proserpina, the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. It's said to open a doorway in time, so that if the unthinkable happens, one person can pass through it and travel back to the past. And when I saw you arrive in a flash of light from the goddess's shrine, I knew that person was you. You don't belong in our time, do you? 2,000 years? That is unfathomable. Please tell me, in your time, what did you see? What had become of us? Of this city? I have imagined it, our downfall, 1,000 times, but it still breaks my heart to hear the truth of it. All I can tell you is that it's a ritual sacrifice to Proserpina. I stumbled across instructions. I have to recite a prayer, and of course, as with all rituals, some sacrifice is involved. Usually that means wine or food, or in some cases a live animal. In this case, the sacrifice is rather more costly. The life of the person performing the ritual. I don't suppose you saw any sign of me in the future? Ah, I assume that was me. If I'm forced to perform the ritual, it's going to cost me everything. You'll try to make sure I don't need to use it, won't you? Well, I suppose that's all I can ask for. Ah, good. So, are you with me? Can I count on you to figure out who's about to break the golden rule? Wonderful. Now, I need you to investigate the city, talk to everyone, help them if it'll win their trust. I authorize you to enter private homes and inspect possessions and documents, unless, of course, you're asked to leave. Figure out who the culprit is, and as soon as you have a name, come back and tell me immediately. Oh, and one last thing. If I were you, I'd start my investigation by visiting Lucretia at the Shrine of Apollo in the Forum. I heard wailing from there not long ago. Seems like something's not right.
Ok, donc il va y avoir quelqu'un qui va enfreindre la règle d'or dans la cité. Il faut l'en empêcher. Et le seul moyen d'en empêcher, c'est d'enquêter. Sinon, tous les gens vont se transformer en statues. Et puis moi, je peux dire au revoir à mon retour dans le présent. Donc il faut aller au sanctuaire d'Apollon qui est là-bas. Alors, on va consulter le journal. D'accord. Objectifs principaux. J'ai voyagé des milliers d'années dans le passé. Je vais devoir me débrouiller pour trouver un moyen de retourner mon époque d'origine. D'après Sancius, je me ferai catapulter vers ma propre époque si je parviens à créer un paradoxe. Il faudra que je change le cours de l'histoire pour que ma présence dans le passé devienne impossible. Par exemple, Sancius dit que si j'empêche le péché qui enfreint la règle d'or, alors il ne créera pas de portail, il me sera impossible d'attirer dans le passé un paradoxe. Alors là, ça me dit ça. Et découvrir ce qui inquiète Lucretia. D'accord. Et ça, c'est l'étape terminée. L'inventaire, j'ai un denier, une lampe torche, et le mot. Ok. Donc là, je suis chez le... sortir de là.
Oh, another one fresh out of the baths, I take it.
Salut, t'es qui?
Ugh, I wish Horatius would stop letting barbarians in here. What do you want?
Je sais pas, toi tu louches un peu, non?
You know, some people say it's the creation of an all-seeing God who's watching everything we do. But what kind of an awful, incompetent God would let my sister go missing on his or her watch? Oh, I'd say it to their faces if they had the courage to show themselves. Did you hear that? Curse you, you coward! Where is my sister? What do you have to say for yourself? No response. Nothing. That's what I thought. I'm telling you, this mysterious god of ours has to be asleep on the job. Either that, or, like people are saying, it really is just a children's fable my father is exploiting to frighten us into behaving. I suppose we will. Ugh, what is it with you people? You heard the rumor that my little sister escaped and figure I must know a way out too. Is that it? Well, that's just a stupid rumor. We have no idea what happened to Scintilla. I wish you mouth breathers would just leave me alone. I don't know. Can you? Can you tell me how a person could have disappeared from a city with no exits and no crime? Was she snatched away by the harpies? That doesn't surprise me. To him, it was like a prize cow wandering off from its paddock. He's upset, of course, but he says he's too busy with the election to help look for her, so he's letting Horatius do the heavy lifting. Some good that's done. It was 3 weeks ago. We ate our evening meal together, and I remember she seemed happy. In love. We went into our rooms, I went to sleep, and when I woke up, she was gone. That's it. I think so, yes. But she was very careful about keeping his identity a secret, even from me. Because our father had plans to marry her off, eventually, and even a rumor about her attachment to some mystery man might have ruined those plans. I don't know, but it's been 3 weeks since she disappeared, and he hasn't come forward. That might speak to a guilty conscience. All I know is, whoever he is, he's still here in the city. You really aren't from here, are you? All Roman women are named after their fathers. I think it's their way of branding us, like cattle to be sold at market. His family name is Sentius, so I'm Sentia because I'm the eldest, and my little sister is formerly Sentia Minor, but she is affectionately known as Scintilla. So you'll help me find her? Oh, thank you. You should probably take a look through her room. It's the one just by the front door. Maybe you'll find something the rest of us missed. Thank you.
Ok, donc une nouvelle quête, découvrir ce qui est arrivé à la sœur. Il faut fouiller la chambre. J'y suis. Ok. Est-ce que je vole l'argent ou pas? Non, on va pas le voler. Santia, Santius et Santia, puissiez-vous trouver la clémence de me pardonner. Je suis désolé de devoir vous abandonner ainsi, mais j'ai trouvé un moyen de m'échapper. J'ai décidé d'en profiter. J'espère vous revoir un jour. Ok. Ok. Hey.
What have you discovered? What? Really? I swear, I searched her room top to bottom and never saw that. I wonder how I could have missed it. Strange, but well done, I suppose. But it's odd. It was only a few months ago that Sentilla's friend Yulia let slip she was planning an escape of her own. And yet, Yulia's still here. You should go and speak with her. Find out if she knows anything. She lives in the villa next door.
Ok. Ok. Alors, je suppose que j'aurai un marqueur hein, pour y aller. Comment on fait pour sortir d'ici?
Ave.
Donc, dans la villa voisine. Ouh. Ici peut-être. Pourquoi il n'y a pas de marqueur pour m'indiquer où c'est? Santius et Malleus, même excrément, seule l'odeur change. Super. Comment je fais pour trouver l'objectif principal? Ok. Demandez que Lulia vous parle du plan. Il faut trouver une fameuse Lulia. Je sais pas où elle est. Je vais parler, attends. Je dois savoir, oui.
Citizen? Ah, you've returned. Do you have any news about your investigation?
Oh non, j'ai pas encore commencé.
Ask then.
Non.
Good. Now, was there something else you wanted to discuss?
Non, non, je veux rien savoir d'autre.
Thank you. I'll be waiting here for news.
Ok. Ouf. Le retournement, ça fait mal aux yeux. Je vais poser la question à la personne qui est là. Salut.
What were you two talking about? Don't play dumb. I saw you. Having a shady little chat with old man Sentius up on his balcony. What's he offering you? Money? Favours? What's your vote worth to him? The spit of a fauna career. We've lined up all the votes we need already. Mark my words, Malleolus is going to be magistrate by the end of the day. And if I tell him you've sided with that feeble old has-been, that you've been trying to undermine his hard-won victory, you'll have picked the wrong patron. Got it? Good. Then stay out of it. Can't hurt.
Ah voilà, je dois parler à Yulia.
She's not here.
Où est-elle?
Had to carry her to Lucretia's clinic this morning. Shrine of Apollo. She was acting sick. Faking it, if you ask me. Typical.
Ok, donc faut trouver le...
Whatever. Just remember, I'll be watching.
Ok, faut trouver le sanctuaire d'Apollon. Alors, il n'y a pas de carte, hein, de mémoire. Il n'y a pas de carte, il faut aller au sanctuaire d'Apollon. Et ben on va prendre celle-ci en quête principale. Comment je fais pour activer la quête principale ici? Bon. Attends, je regarde les options. Paramètres. Commande. raccourci. Guide d'objectif X. M. Là, c'est les manettes. Non, X et M apparemment. X. Bon, bah, je sais pas où il faut aller. Où est le sanctuaire d'Apollon? J'en sais absolument rien. Il y a du monde là.
On your best behavior, I trust?
Je peux passer?
Keeping an eye on things, Horatius?
As always, priestess.
Any news about Scintilla, Navia, or Kabash?
No sign of any of them, I'm afraid. But we do have a newcomer. Strangely dressed fella. Funny accent, too.
A traveller from a faraway land, then?
Seems that way.
Then let's make sure he feels welcome, shall we?
Of course, priestess.
Ah, c'est une prêtresse, elle. On va lui parler.
A new face. Ave, and may Vesta watch over you. I'm Equitia. To what do I owe the pleasure of this visit? Oh my. I take it people are quite direct where you're from. I suppose it's quite charming in its own way. Usually, however, you wouldn't simply march up to a Vestal priestess and without due formality or courtesy ask, "What is your story?" Oh, a hurry, you say? Well, in that case, let's do it your way. You just keep being yourself and ask whatever you like. It'll be a refreshing change. You know, I'm not entirely sure. But what about you? How did you end up here? Karen, you say? And nothing about that name seemed odd to you? Older. I see. I wonder if... No. I apologize. I don't mean to be cryptic. It's just that you've got me thinking. Have you spoken with any of the others about how they arrived here too? I really think you should. Go around and ask them what they remember and see if you notice any patterns. Good. Thank you. But please be careful. I just don't want to see what happened to Livia happen to you too. Up until a few weeks ago, she was a perfectly productive member of our little community, darning clothes and cutting hair. She was always so chatty, always seeking out newcomers and asking them where they were from and how they wound up here. And then, about a month ago, she suddenly changed. She withdrew, stopped working and became despondent, started muttering to herself. Galerius and I visited her to see how we could help. But she just looked at us with this haunted stare, called us bloodless shadows, and told us we were ignorant of some pattern. Look, it could be unrelated. Perhaps she simply fell ill. Or, as Galerius suggested, the weight of the golden rule was too much for her. But there is a small chance that she learned something, saw a pattern nobody else saw, and that it broke her. I just don't want to see that happen to you. So be careful, will you? Thank you. Now, go and follow the thread of truth through this labyrinth, and come back to me if you discover any patterns. Come back to me once you've acquainted yourself with the rest of our neighbors.
Ok, donc il y a des sortes de petites quêtes qui se rajoutent au fur et à mesure. C'est un peu perturbant. Parce qu'on est parti sur une quête et puis on en chope une autre, puis une autre. Du coup, je sais pas trop. Là, on dirait un teinturier. Moi, je cherche le temple. Ça ressemble à un temple, ça là-bas, non? Oh!
Help! You have to
to do something. A man arrived in the baths. A real nasty sort, with his face all covered up. And he's got a weapon. You have to do something, or he's going to break the golden rule. None of us do. The magistrate made us throw them all into the chasm. So now this man's bow is the only one in the city. You'll just have to improvise. Thank you. He's still in there, somewhere. I have to hide. Find me in this empty shrine when it's over. Hear what? What? We don't have time for this. I have to go. Ugh.
À mon avis, elle est folle. Hein. Et de l'homme avec la... Vu que je dois me procurer un arc, je me demande si l'homme...
The shrine is collapsing.
Oh merde. Merde. Mais madame.
Fabia, no! Oh God, she's dead! Did anyone see that? The whole shrine just collapsed on her! Oh, Fabia, why did you have to go in there? Poor sweet girl!
Je sais pas, c'est bizarre le truc avec l'arc. À mon avis, elle devait être folle cette nana. Et le murmure qui a dit non, c'est peut-être fait exprès pour pas que je suive ce qu'elle me demande. Parce que si je fais un arc... Hein? Vous m'entendez? Moi je t'entends. Bizarre. Hein? Ah non, il y a vraiment quelqu'un qui a un arc.
Stop right there. I'm looking for Tiberius Quinctius Crispus, otherwise known as Quinctius. Do you know where he is? I'm not sure I believe that, so allow me to explain something to you. I am here with orders from Emperor Nero himself to find and execute the cultist Quinctius for terrible crimes against the Empire. So, if you tell me the truth, I will allow you to live. But if you lie to me or otherwise obstruct the Emperor's business in any way, I will put this arrow through your chest. Is that understood? Thank you. Now tell me, who are you people, and what is this place? A small community. Ha! I was told Quinctius was a cultist, but I never thought he'd be foolish enough to lead me right to the heart of his mystery cult. You say that, but if you're not a cult, then why go to such great lengths to keep this place a secret? So you admit you're not allowed to leave? Threatening me is not going to help you, but in any case, that sounds an awful lot like a cult to me. And I saw the inscription saying, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." I take it this is some kind of mantra you all believe? A distinction without a difference. You've clearly been indoctrinated into this nonsense. Now tell me, where did you lot get enough gold to make all these statues? You lot are practicing human sacrifice too. You people disgust me. Yes, yes, because I'm the real villain here. It's all clear to me now. The secret sanctuary, the indoctrination, the mantra, the human sacrifice. You're cultists, there's no doubt in my mind. What baffles me is how a person can believe in something with such zeal. They just can't see what they've become. However, you still have a chance to redeem yourself by telling me where Quinctius is. Do not waste it. then you're of no use to me. Do you have any last words?
Putain, t'es con quoi.
And there's a simple explanation for that. I lied. But if you want to know the truth before you die, here it is. Once I'm done with you and Quintius, I intend to kill every last one of you wretched degenerates. And I can think of nothing I'd enjoy more.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Oh putain, faut que je cours vite. Oh putain, ouais, en faisant ça, tous les gens se sont transformés en or. Il n'y a que moi pour l'instant qui réchappe. Mais je vais où là? Je suis en panique là. Je sais même pas où je vais. Ah, il faut aller là-bas, je suis pas au bon endroit moi. Putain. C'est la merde. Oh, quelle catastrophe. Fouiller. Aucun objet. Ok. Ok, je suis revenu dans le passé, au moment ok, je suis revenu au tout début. Donc les gens ne me connaissent pas, je suis revenu dans le passé. D'accord. Putain.
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. I don't think... Oh, Bacchus, how much did I... Oh, and since you seem to be in a hurry, you should try out this...
Ah, il me donne un truc. Un guidon de tyrolienne rudimentaire en bois. Ok. Ok, merci.
Just attach the pulley to the rope over the lake and hang on to the handles. If it works, it'll be faster than walking. And if it doesn't work, worst thing that can happen. But don't worry, it's... All right. See...
Ok, d'accord. Bon, super. Donc j'ai un moyen plus rapide d'aller jusqu'à... Comment je fais? Comment on l'utilise?